Welcome back. Last week, we turned on the lights in our mental attic. We finally identified the clutter we've been carrying around, those heavy boxes of old regrets and fears. Now that we can see this baggage clearly, we have to figure out how to get rid of it. When we face an old hurt or a current stress, our first instinct is to put our hands up and push back. We try to aggressively fight those feelings to make them go away. There is a specific rule that explains why this feels so exhausting. Resistance creates persistence. Actively fighting a mental problem actually feeds the problem your energy. It makes the situation feel larger and more imposing. Force and willpower won't clear our minds. To find a real solution, we have to set aside the instinct to fight and pick up a different kind of tool. This week, we're introducing a tool called denial. I know that word usually sounds like a red flag. In daily life, being in denial usually means ignoring reality or hiding from a difficult truth. But we can approach this differently, viewing it as a gentle eraser designed to completely clear our mental board. This isn't about pretending a situation doesn't exist. It's about choosing to stop letting that situation dictate how we feel and think. Let's look at how this works. Imagine you're facing a tough financial stretch or a physical injury. That fact often feels like it's tethered directly to your peace of mind, pulsing with stress. We aren't denying the fact itself. If a leg is broken, we get the help we need. We use the eraser on the tether. We deny the idea that this injury has the power to define our worth or destroy our inner quiet. The external problem remains a fact, but we've neutralized its emotional weight. It no longer has a grip on us. What's left is a powerless outline of the event, stripped of the fear that used to keep it alive. A negative fact is just an object in our environment. This eraser helps us move that object out of the center of our lives, so it stops casting a shadow over everything else we do. You might wonder why the eraser has to be gentle. Why not just scrub away at our problems with everything we've got? When we're frustrated with a bad habit or an anxious thought, we often try to shout it down or fight it. But the things we fight most intensely often end up sticking around the longest. Fighting a problem actually feeds it your energy. By treating a thought like a monster you have to defeat, you're convincing your mind that the problem is huge, powerful, and very real. When we gently erase a pod, we're left with a blank space, but our minds are built to be active. They don't like staying empty for long. If we don't give the mind a new, better direction, it defaults back to the old, noisy habits it knows best. Those familiar fears are always waiting to rush back into the void. Using the eraser gently starves the problem of attention, clearing the quiet room we need to plant something new. There is a massive sense of relief that comes when you finally experience a truly clean slate. This work prepares the ground. You can only start to build new feelings of joy and abundance once the old limiting beliefs are wiped away. As these new thoughts take up space, they become our new normal, replacing the fear with a sense of quiet strength. Here is a simple way to practice this today. The next time an anxious or heavy thought pops up, just pause for a second. Instead of fighting that thought, acknowledge it's there. Tell yourself, "This has no power over me," and visualize the eraser moving across your mind. Mastering this clean slate gives us the power to step into every situation and choose exactly what defines us. Keep your mental board clean and let the light in. We'll take the next step together next week.